Restoration is brought to you by
High Sense, everyday prices for everyday people.
Yas extra long sanitary pad for extra comfort.
We got Yas protection.
A very good evening to you wherever you are watching us from. This is Restoration with Stacy. I'd like to say a very big thank you to all of our sponsors, to Yas Washing Powder and Yas Sanitary Pad, High Sense, Hooch Corn and Choco Flakes, to GTP, Adonko Original Hand Sanitizer, and Adonko Next Level. We're saying a very big thank you to you. La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, what would we do without you? You always give us the opportunity to come and record here, and we say a very big thank you. And I have got great news for all of you. It's been a very tough year for all of us from 2020 to 2021. I know a lot of businesses have suffered, but I have amazing news for you. Multi-credit savings and loans, they're giving you that opportunity to have your business back. And what makes this beautiful is you can actually go and apply for this loan in groups of 5, 7, and 9. So you don't have to worry about, I need this, I need that. You just go, prove your case, and between 14 and 21 days, you could have that money that would revive your business. Inti so ye jadinia me mane house corona ba. Multi-credit adaroma say moye ekuo a moye enum enso ana enkro multi-credit for edi ato makoma so se omo pese omo boa epeja muja emamo. Inti be a wo bia ko multi-credit omo branch bia ebenwo. Na sa okoha omo be show amana ye fefefe na mum monkai se conditions ewo ho nti mokwa ntutie bi ewo ho no na ma bomoden na ma yese ne be ya monsa betimi akasika no amamatimi aye adwuma ahwe abusia. On that note, a very big thank you to Multi-Credit Savings and Loans, and of course to Jim Ray Estate. I want to say a very big thank you to you, to my glam squad, Ophelia of ABS Collection. Thank you very much for this beautiful skirt. And my blouse is from Cash Boutique. Cash Boutique is located at Nyaniba Estate. Karen, thank you very much. Style by Yemi, thank you for my hair. And of course, Divine Cassie. He always makes sure that my makeup is on point. And also to GH Beauty Artistry. Well, when it comes to food, I'm a big fan of food. I love my food. So I want to say a very big thank you to the Souza Catering for always making sure my crew and I have the best food you can ever have in this world. Thank you so much.
18th May, Ekovim 8th June 2021.
And your High Sense Bridge promo. Yeah, tenting swam, sir. What is High Sense Bridge, dear? Entry power, F4, and I check. High Sense Bridge, entry power, and more Kabia. Yes, I saw 5 years warranty.
My fridge have you.
Hey, High Sense Bridge.
W, 3DB, 3DB.
18th May, Ekovim 8th June 2021.
And your High Sense Bridge promo. Yeah, tenting swam, sir. Kona kwa Jody. High Sense. Everyday prices for everyday people.
Mata ankuma. Hey,
oh, Chaisa.
Na won't man so jama GTP on.
Ayo.
Jo. Hey, what the mufwa. No beauty no so faded.
Me that say. So when him say GTP there, and one of me this sporting. Now your design is also there. And endless. I mean in Chemuda.
In Chemuda.
Clemento.
Yes.
You know I really like you.
Okay.
But that's your fabric. It doesn't look genuine.
Hey, design, GTP design.
GTP put the printed colors be sale. Share. When buying GTP, always check the design number on the label. The same number is printed on the selvage.
Oh, they work out, Mate. We are genuine. Yeah, we do a chamo baby. What? Jack, shine your eye.
GTP is available in various shops, open market and online at www.buygtp.com.
GTP, timeless.
I remember the days I just couldn't go to the gym because it was that time of the month. Yas extra long sanitary pad took the worry away. Easy.
Yes, comfort, I got. Yes, confidence, I got. Yes.
The new Yas Extra Long Sanitary Pad is the joy of every woman. It is extra absorbent and fits perfect. Don't allow anything to hold you back when it's that time.
Wow. Yes, yes, yes.
Feel confident, stay fresh.
Hi. Is it supposed to be that time of the month?
Yes. I got. Yes, confidence, I got.
Yes.
We got yes protection. I got.
Yas Extra Long Sanitary Pad for extra comfort.
We got yes protection.
Hello, your friend Jackie. So we will be a winning who are there just to send me and pimpino. You to me 5 gems if in Kitsadia, you need your Brucia, your fans, any and down for any. Nanso, what bet to me about home by use a Donko hand sanitizer, debia, any bribia. If you say you to me 5 gems if in Yama Yasa is so. A Donko hand sanitizer, bet to me about home by debia, free gems, bacteria, you need in home. A Donko hand sanitizer, sure or dog. Never home by
FD Ashwisha said Jadian Kratoimu Ajia Tumse Eye. Underarms. You don't usually think about them. You protect them from sweat and odor. But that's not enough. What they need is something that takes care of them. So they feel good whatever you put them through. Introducing Dove Antiperspirant. It goes beyond 48-hour protection, giving you long-lasting dryness and soft, smooth underarms. Dove Antiperspirant cares for your underarm skin like never before.
To help fight the spread of germs, learn Lifebuoy's hand washing habits. Wash hands with soap or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Together, let's help fight the spread of germs in Africa.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Nido Fortigrow contains essential nutrients to help your child be body and mind ready for school.
I know he's ready because the love I give him grows with him.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Last year, we had the opportunity of talking to this amazing woman who actually left a lot of single women with the most powerful answer to some very common questions they are asked. And that question is, when are you going to get married? And she told them, if they ask you that, just ask them, when are you going to die? And after a year, I have her back with me to tell us how she's been keeping and how life has treated her. 2 years on after losing her husband, we have back with us Dyllis Sillah. Dyllis, when are you getting married?
Of all the things to remember from that interview, that was so funny.
Mean, that was the tipping point for most people because I believe most people have been asked that question. And, you know, it's awkward in our society. It's like the woman is supposed to tell the man, let's get married. But with our culture, it's the man who would always ask your hand.
I think in most cultures. I mean, I know things are a little bit modern now where, you know, every leap year, the woman gets on one knee and asks a man to marry her. But I mean,
I'm yet to see that. So it's a man's thing. So women are always ready. But until the man would pop that question, it's like you're just waiting. So it's awkward for someone to ask, when are you getting married? When you don't really control the man, when you don't control his emotions.
Absolutely.
And most importantly, his financial state, because it's a lot of money. Weddings don't come cheaply.
Absolutely correct,
How have you been?
I've been very good.
You're glowing. Tell me, what's the secret?
The secret is I decided to live. Quite frankly, I got to a point where I was tired of being sad and I made a decision that I was going to be happy. And from that point, things in my life just changed. I thought I'm going to, you know, revamp my business. So, you know, I work as a life coach. So I've just registered a new business, Golden Touch Coaching and Consultancy, obviously based in London, but I have clients, you know, all over the place. I'm launching this new business. I'm just waiting for COVID to leave our lives. And it's going to be called Dining with Dyllis, where I'm going to have people in my house, a very small group of women, like just 6 of us, where we'll have these themed dinners. So it may be, you know, how to revamp your life after divorce, you know, how to deal with anxiety, how to deal with stress, you know, how to deal with children, or whatever that conversation may be. And it'll just be a very intimate dinner to talk about things in an enclosed but safe environment where we can just be ourselves. So yeah, life has been pretty good. Yeah.
The last time you were here, our conversation was a little intimate.
Mm-hmm.
And from where I sat, in as much as we were looking at a very brave woman who had gone through that phase of life, losing the love of your life, we were seeing that character of that strong woman. But deep down, I could see the hurt.
Yeah.
I could see you were still broken, but you were trying to pick yourself back up. How were you able to finally get out of that hidden state where everybody thinks you're all right, but you go back home in the 4 corners of your room and you're like, did this really happen to me?
Do you know, I think it's something that even 10, 20, 30 years on, you're still going to be in that space. You're still going to have days where you think, did that really happen? Because it is surreal. And it is shocking. And it is unbelievable. But it did happen. And I think the one luxury I always said that I never had was the luxury of denial. It hit too hard for me to be in a state of denial. So I don't think that those days necessarily pass, but the impact of those days and the frequency of those days, they grow much, much less. And as I said, because I made that decision that I wanted to be happy for myself.
And move on.
And move forward. You know, I always say that, do you really move on or do you move forward? I like to use the phrase moving forward because I think moving on kind of means like you've left something behind. But it's a part of you, it's part of your journey in life. And I think if you embrace it, then your approach and response to it is much more different than trying to forget that it ever happened, as if that life never existed. It did exist. It existed for me for 17 years. You know, we share a child together. And I don't want to erase that part of my life because that life has contributed to the woman that I am today. And yes, you know, we speak about strength and what have you. And yes, I am strong. However, a lot of it is just the grace of God. That when you are, you know, bereaved in the manner in which I was, you know, one minute your husband is there and the next minute he's gone, there is an element of shock that takes some time to wear off. And as you're saying, you know, did this really happen to me? Well, yeah, it did. You know, but I think you kind of grow into yourself. It's a new you. You kind of revamp who you are if you want to be in that state of control and wanting to enjoy your life. Because there's many women who lose their husbands and they will forever be known as the widow. It was never a title that I wanted. It's never been a title that I have embraced. And it's never one that I want. I say I was widowed. It's something that happened to me. It is not me. And I refuse to ever, you know, wear it as some kind of, you know...
a crown.
Yes. You know, though it's nothing to be ashamed of, I personally don't like what it symbolizes, especially in our culture, where you're supposed to look a certain way. You're supposed to speak a certain way. You have to look bloody miserable and sad to prove that you're mourning. I'm not into any of that foolishness. My grief is private and is personal to me. I am not on display for people to judge on their grievometer on how much I'm grieving. That's not your damn business. You lose your husband and you judge yourself. But for me, it's my life. I have to be in control of it and I have to live it because I'm still here. And I refuse to feel guilty for the fact that I'm still here and have chosen to live and be happy and see what God has in store for the next phase of my life. Because my whole life, I was a woman and a person within my own right before I got married. And I still remain that woman in my own right now that I have been widowed. I'm still me. So.
Are there times you walk into your home and you feel if Eddie was here, things would have been different? How have you been able to embrace that situation, especially having a child to raise?
One thing I had to say to my daughter is this. He was your father, but he was my husband. And we are never going to mourn him the same. So don't expect me to mourn him like you, and I won't expect you to mourn him like me. And I think that was one of the first things that we had to establish, that we are going to mourn this one person very differently. That you cannot judge how I mourn your father, and you cannot judge how I mourn my husband. So, for example, I revamped the whole house. I had a complete, refurbishment because I couldn't live there the way it was. I couldn't breathe. Whereas for my daughter...
You could smell him everywhere.
I just needed a home that was mine, that was ours, i.e. for myself and my daughter. And it couldn't be that with everything remaining the same. For my mental health and for my emotional stability, I needed the house to be different. For my daughter, on the other hand, it was very challenging for her because she wanted certain things in the house. So, we had, a little compromise. When you come into my house, there's a picture of my daughter and her dad when she was like 3 days old. But there's no pictures of my late husband and I. That's how I wanted it. There was a big picture. As soon as you walk up the stairs, it's right there. And there's days where I'd be fine and I'd see that picture and my spirit would drop. I had to do what was right for me. So I think that's how I was able to mourn from a healthy space. Because sometimes what we don't realize is you can mourn from a place that's not healthy. And you can mourn from a place that you can cry, you can wipe your eyes, and you can, straighten your collar and face your day. Or you can mourn and be in bed and not wash for 3 days and have the duvet over your head and not answer your phone and not answer the door. I chose the former. So for me, it was all about wanting to be in control and wanting to live. And to do that, it meant I had to make certain decisions that were right for me as a person. And, I spoke to my daughter and I said, you've got to understand that aside from having the title as your mother, I am me. I am a whole human being in my own right. And you have to get to know that person as a standalone entity without the titles. And it's done wonders for our relationship.
Wow. Are there times you wished things were different?
There's a saying in England that if wishes were horses, we'd all be riders. You can wish all you like. But when you're a woman of faith, which I am, the Bible says that consider not the former things. Behold, I am doing a new thing. For me to keep looking back means I am not interested or I haven't earned the right to enjoy what's in my future. What happened for a reason. In my quiet moments, I understand the reason. And for that reason, it has helped me to be able to move forward and not keep looking back. Oh, if Eddie hadn't died, if this hadn't happened, where would I be? I would be stuck in that space of what if? That's a waste of your life. And a lot of people who are bereaved are stuck there. But it's not wrong to be there, but just don't be there for too long. At some point, you've got to say, okay, I have some answers, and sometimes you have no answers. But you've got to be okay with having no answers, knowing that he has the answer. And so therefore, if you're a person of faith, your outlook and your attitude towards bereavement is very different. Very different indeed. So I don't do the what if, not anymore.
Healing takes a lot, and to overcome certain situations takes a lot of willpower.
Yeah.
And you've really exhibited that you have that willpower to do it. But trust you me, there are times you scream, you yell, you just break. Did you get to that extent?
Oh, 100%. But that happened more in the very beginning, where I couldn't sleep. And to be honest, because
you couldn't sleep?
No, I hadn't. I'm only now sleeping properly. And it's taken me, because don't forget that, Eddie fell ill in 2015. Mm-hmm. And one of the reasons why I didn't sleep was because I thought if I slept and the hospital rang and anything, happened and I was asleep, I'd never forgive myself. So I never really slept. So I've been in this state of being half asleep for the past, 5 years or so. It's only recently that I can sleep properly for a good number of hours and be okay. So yeah, I had those moments in the very beginning, and then they kind of, dwindled and died down. And then I had counselling. I actually, paid for counselling, which is something that a lot of people seem to have a problem with. They think that, counselling, I don't know, it's for movie stars or something, I don't know.
Yeah, but most people think if you go for counselling, it means you're going gaga.
They're gaga.
Yeah.
They're gaga for being so stupid. I know, and it's ridiculous.
Women have a way their mental health plays out on them. And if they are not handled and tackled right, you get most women losing it completely.
Absolutely.
I always say that most women are crazy walking because the kind of things they deal with
absolutely.
in
I
their
hear you.
workspace, their home space,
their childhood,
it's craziness. Mm-hmm. So until you're able to understand women and help them work on their mental psyche, most women would go mad.
Yeah, you're absolutely and completely correct. I think the only thing that saves us is because we're so vocal about how we feel and we have our little, girlfriend networky kind of things going on, that we're able to speak. But on the flip side, we have a lot of men who are walking crazy, even crazier, because they don't have that space to, be able to be vulnerable and to speak, especially as black men or African men, because, you're not even allowed to cry, which is ludicrous. So we have a lot of, men who are walking wounded because of the experiences they've had in their childhood, for example, and, relationship-wise and what have you. And because they're not given that space to be human, they also have their own issues. So when we come together, it's not surprising that it just doesn't work,
Oh, so let's come to your move. Mostly when you move from that state, everything becomes kind of new. You're trying to re-find yourself. If you're not careful, even your cycle of friends will change because when you are mourning, you mostly kind of gravitate towards those who check on you. So if you have a busy one who doesn't check, you think she didn't care or he didn't care. Getting back, how were you able to get back into your Dyllis mode?
To be quite frank with you, I don't think I ever lost the Dyllis mode. I really don't think I did. I think I've changed, which is, inevitable, really. But I don't think I ever lost myself. So even when I was going through the height of the wahala, in the beginning where, there was family issues. In-law issues and all of that, people assume there's going to be that level of vulnerability where you can be taken advantage of. That was never my story. So I was always present emotionally and mentally. I was always there. I was always me, which I think surprised people because there I was, completely devastated, but at the same time exhibiting a level of strength that they didn't associate or wouldn't really connect to somebody in that situation. So I don't think I ever lost myself. In terms of friends, I was very blessed to have a lot of people praying for me, reaching out, to me. And I mean, gosh, there was even a lady at my church that was paying somebody to cook food to bring to me and my kids. And I found that out by chance. Even the funeral, people wouldn't let me pay for anything. That was when I knew of what value I was to people, more than I ever imagined, So yeah, I've been very blessed in terms of having very good people around me. I always have been blessed like that.
Oh, that is so soothing to hear because sometimes in your darkest moments, there is nobody there. So I'm sure we're all really waiting to hear what's up with Dyllis. We'll be right back after this break.
18th May, Ekovim 8th June 2021. And your high sense preach promo. Yeah, 10 swam, sir. When him says fridge dear, F, entry power, F4, and a check. High sense fridge, entry power, and more cabia. Yes, I saw 5 years warranty.
My fridge have you.
Hey, high sense fridge.
Have you? Fridge you.
18th May, I call him 8th June 2021. A high sense fridge promo. Yeah, tenting swam, sir. Corner Jody. High sense, everyday prices for everyday people.
Thank you very much for watching, and remember to constantly be on the move in all that you do. Mwah!
It's a wrap. Oh, in a year.
Hey, Clemento.
Oh, dear, me feel you to me yadao to.
Hey, me ya #1 fan pa.
Sir, and to manage show into grandma jetty. Me patcho say GTP dear.
Pure.
Down is warm. Just say the beers me who be no was the same.
GTP has endless designs. When buying, just make sure that the source is original, genuine, and authentic.
Simple.
You can buy from any wooden store or any of the GTP accredited dealers nationwide. Or you can do as I do. Go online. Buy from www.buygtp.com.
Jack, sign your eye.
GTP, timeless.
I remember the days I just couldn't go to the gym because it was that time of the month. Yas extra long sanitary pad took the worry away. Easy.
Yes, comfort, I got. Yes, confidence, I got. Yes.
The new Yas extra long sanitary pad is the joy of every woman. It is extra absorbent and fits perfect. Don't allow anything to hold you back when it's that time.
Wow.
Yes, yes, yes.
Feel confident, stay fresh.
Hi. Is it supposed to be that time of the month?
Yes. I got. Yes, confidence, I got.
Yes.
We got yes protection. I got.
Yas extra long sanitary pad for extra comfort.
We got yes protection.
Hello, your friend Jackie. So we will be a winner who are the jet to semia and pimpino. You to me 5 gems if in Kitadia, you need your brucia, your fans, any and down for anyam. Nanso, who bet to me about home by using a Donko hand sanitizer, debia, any bribia. Every say you to me 5 gems if in Yama Yasa is so. A Donko hand sanitizer, bet to me about home by debia, free gems, bacteria, you need in home. A Donko hand sanitizer, sure or do. Never home by
FD Reframing said Jadian Kratoimu Ajiatum say underarms. You don't usually think about them. You protect them from sweat and odor, but that's not enough. What they need is something that takes care of them, so they feel good whatever you put them through. Introducing Dove Antiperspirant. It goes beyond 48-hour protection, giving you long-lasting dryness and soft, smooth underarms. Dove Antiperspirant cares for your underarm skin like never before.
To help fight the spread of germs, learn Lifebuoy's hand washing habits. Wash hands with soap or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Together, let's help fight the spread of germs in Africa.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Nido Fortigrow contains essential nutrients to help your child be body and mind ready for school.
I know he's ready because the love I give him grows with him.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Okay, we're still at E Plaza 2, and I promised them I would be coming to visit everyone in this building. So it's a turn of Anita. Anita, how are you doing?
I'm fine.
So which episode is your favorite?
Oh, Empress Gifty.
Empress Gifty, yeah. So now Empress Gifty has one at E Plaza 2. It was looking by us, everybody, so now the Empress has also gotten a vote. So what do you like about the show?
I like the way it inspires people, the way you talk to people say their story out, so it's really, really nice. I really like it.
So you keep on watching us,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, so today High Sense wants us to come and give you something to say a big thank you for supporting us all the way through.
Thank you.
All right, so this is coming from High Sense to you. So thank you very much. And what do you have to say to High Sense?
Oh, thanks to iSense. God bless their business. May it grow from grace to grace.
Amen. Amen. So viewers, thank you very much for watching this week's episode of our High Sense Super Crazy Giveaway Moments. We'll see you with another winner next week. Welcome back. This is our winner for this week's High Sense Super Crazy Giveaway Moments. And every time Dyllis is around, it's like lighted. Dyllis, so we're back. I just want to follow up from our last conversation. So how are you and your late husband's family?
What family?
Dyllis, you play too much.
No, to be honest with you, relations have kind of broken down with most of them. But there are a couple that are really great, you know, who have, you know, still check on me and stuff. But I would say 98% of them have just vamoosed, which is fine with me. I really don't have a problem with it.
Did they support you during the funeral?
A couple of them that were supportive became unsupportive for reasons best known to themselves. I don't do guessing games. If you've got a problem, you need to speak to me. But I could see that, you know, there were just certain people that were withdrawing more and more. And I just thought, you know what, knock yourself out. Not a problem. I have my own life. I have my own family. You know, I'm not an orphan. It's not like I have no siblings or I have no life. So I was okay with that. So I would say by and large, we're pretty much disconnected, you know. There's only a few that...
Don't they check on your daughter?
No. And that's when I realized that, you know what, all this nonsense of, you know, you have a child for us. I remember, you know, when Eddie first passed away, they were saying about you have a child for us. And I said, I had sex with one person, not with the whole family. I have a child for my late husband. I do not have a child for you. And I rest my case, because if that's the case, I'd be chasing them for child support. So, you know, there's things that are said because it sounds nice, but in reality it's very different. And I'm glad that I didn't rely on the flowery words of people, because I would be disappointed. So I've been able to manage my expectations, knowing that I am very much a single parent and just doing what I need to do for, you know, my household.
Does it bother your daughter?
No, because she's like her mother. So, you know, it doesn't bother her because she never really knew them.
Okay.
She knew some of them, but she didn't really know them. It's only when her father passed away that they popped up. And then because, it was a bit of, you know, emotional blackmail. Oh, but you have a daughter for us. And that's why I gave that response, because think about it, under normal circumstances, if somebody says something as nice as, you have a daughter for us, you would embrace it. But I knew where it was going. And I was like, don't play with me like that. Because if that was the case, my daughter, as I told them, is not a newborn. She's 12 years old. I ain't seen your ass in 12 years. So where from this thing of, you have a daughter for us? For who? I don't see anything for her at Christmas or, you know, for her birthday. So who do I have a child for? I'm like, no, I don't know you, and neither does she. So, you know, you can't miss what wasn't really there, can you?
So within almost 4 years that Eddie was battling for his health, were they ever available? Did they support you?
The ones who made the most noise when he died didn't do jack. Didn't see him, didn't smell him, didn't hear him. But they were the ones that made the most noise. So in the book, there's a cousin who, incidentally, is what? A widow herself. And she was the one that sent me the message saying that I had no right to bury, you know, my late husband as I wanted, and spoke a whole load of nonsense. She's the one that got handed her backside on a platter, because I felt she really overstepped the mark.
Because you felt she had been through it, so she needed to understand you better.
The thing is, even if she didn't understand, back out of my business. What you don't have the right to do is to call me or to send me messages that are disrespectful and that are making a judgment on a situation that you didn't contribute to. Because like I said, he was ill for 3.5 years. I never saw this woman. I met her twice. I was with Eddie for 17 years. So just to give you some context on how bizarre it is for somebody out of the blue to just send you a text message telling you that you have no right to bury your husband as you so wish and that I am causing a problem in the family. I'm like, who died and made this woman a queen? I don't know who she is. So it was things like that kind of, I found it just unbelievable. But at the same time, I wasn't about to just, curl up in a corner and cry and be a victim for anybody. So I had to ask her who she thought she was and with what authority she was coming to speak to me. And where was she in the last 4 years? And after I finished dealing with her, then she said, I don't like bullies. I said, wait, Jimmy. We'll send him a message. No one won't pay bullies. I said, oh, I don't like bullies. I'm like, you've just sent me a message telling me that by the end of today, I must get back to you. Because I don't have This happened 10 days after Eddie had died. 10 days. And all she kept saying is, I will never be the same. Oh, you're never going to be the same. And then she did this crying thing at the beginning, where when I did call her back, she was like, oh, So I just asked her, I said, you sent me a message. Would you like to explain what it was? Now, after for her to now repeat it was a problem for her. Because now, people are keyboard warriors. They're all big and tough, provided they don't have to speak to you directly. So I asked her, feel free to explain the message you just sent to me. Oh, but you've read the message. I'm sure you understand it. I was just quietly listening to her. And then she proceeded to say that, I just want to be a part of it. We just want, this is exactly what she said. I just want to be a part of it. We just want to be a part of it. Oh, I've been through it. Oh, and she did this fake little cry thing. I was just looking at my phone like, this woman is really irritating. And then afterwards, I listened to her and I started to explain. I said to her that wisdom would dictate that when you hear a story, that you ask for both sides before you pass judgment. I said, even murderers have their day in court where they're able to present their case to show if there was even any mitigating circumstances to the murder that they have committed before the jury will decide whether they are guilty or innocent. You came and was judge, jury, and executioner. I said, the person who you're advocating for didn't see his brother for over a year. He was not talking. I sent her a screenshot, or I think I sent to one of the relatives, of 323 unopened messages that his so-called brother had sent to my late husband, that my late husband refused to open. So when the story was perpetuated that I was the issue, I said, but my late husband was not a paraplegic. He didn't have nothing, son, and quiet. He could text.
He didn't have dementia.
He didn't have dementia. That was another thing. She said to me that before I can bury my husband, I must come and show her the power of attorney. That gives me the right. I say, as a wife, say I should bring power of attorney. You don't know that I have automatic rights as Nyere. And you're asking me, say, Minfa and Kratamra. Can you imagine? And I'm supposed to take that lying down. Let me say, Bibi, she couldn't come. I said, no, you're not sorry because you were ready to make me a victim when it suited you. What you hadn't bargained for was that I would push back. And I would not be burying this man in an environment that is not loving and respectful.
Toxic.
It's not going to happen. So that's what happened.
And what you've been through is something most women go through in Africa.
Oh, yeah.
And some of them end up losing themselves. Some of them never come back the same. Some of them remain broken for life.
It's easy to see how. But I think my advice is, look, I've always had this attitude of act now, cry later. If you're going to be putting your hand and say, they will bury you with your husband. That's not the time to be weak. Be weak in your closet. But when they're coming to face you, don't wait for anybody to be your advocate or your mouthpiece because it ain't happening. And like I was saying earlier, this evil behavior, I always wonder, where are the family of the person who's widowed? Why are they not standing up for her? But the reason being because they would do it to somebody else in that same family when it suits them. So you have to be your own advocate. That's not the time to allow...
You don't wait on people.
You can't do that. But it goes even deeper on the kind of marriages that we go into. We have this stupid attitude amongst African women that your husband is there sleeping with anything with an orifice, and for you it's like, but when you're having a rubbish marriage, and then when he dies, you will suffer again, even more. You don't know how much he earns, you don't know where his money is, you don't know where his assets are, and you're in that marriage because you're answering to Mrs.
Yeah.
Hey, bro.
Yeah, bro.
So when he dies, you realize that what was bad in your marriage is further compounded because half these men do not leave wills. So when they die interstate, then, it's now open
Everybody
season.
Flying around to grab what they can.
So it's for us women to also look at the kind of marriages that we go into and making sure that you can have those conversations. And I write about this in my book. Being Christians, it's a challenge because as somebody said, that we're so earthly bound, heavenly bound, we're no earthly good. Because if you speak about death, it means that, hey, you're inviting if fear for someone burial now. You can't have a conversation about life insurance. Hey, and these are people who've been to school. You can't talk about life insurance. You don't want to write no will. Business class, you're driving big cars. But and that's all, China. Your wife is left so vulnerable, plus your children. Show your wife how much you love her by taking care of her when she's alive. But because our marriages, amongst us Ghanaians, is so toxic, we don't have good marriages. If a man loves his wife, it means say, "Obano ayeni baby, or enough a baby," and that's a better with Jimmy. We don't appreciate love and compassion and togetherness.
It's bizarre to the ordinary Ghanaian to see a man all over a woman. Where do I any baby?
Honestly, I mama PBB because I don't have relationships that aren't like that. If you look at my parents, I think The Mirror and some other media houses did an interview on them. They've been married for 61 years nearly.
Wow.
And my mum and dad still hold hands. That's all I know. I don't know that kind of household where Mummy, where's daddy? Oh, I don't know. Your daddy has gone on a trip and bare 3 days, you know.
Oh, no.
And I said, oh, yes, I know that's my dad's girlfriend because they've got 3 kids. What is all this trash? The same wife you didn't respect is the one that should now come and be bathing you. You rot, mum. My girl, I'm out.
That's a diary of a mad black woman.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be mad. I'll do it smiling. We say, hey, you're looking for me today, darling. No. Oh, no, I'm a cop. I wouldn't do it. But the family, and you see, this is where, in-laws can be so evil because they will support their brother or their son in the foolishness that they're doing. But let him be sick. They don't go to the girlfriend. They come to the wife. But what wife? Because what are you still doing there? Mrs. N.T.
Okay, Dyllis, there's food for thought. No, you've started some arguments in some homes.
Well, the thing is, as women, our whole identity is caught up with the status of whether we are a mother, whether we are married, whether we're divorced. Yeah. We are so afraid to just be women. We are so scared to just be entities in our own right. Unless we hold a title of sorts, we cannot function. And we succumb to the pressure of society every time, without realizing that if we, as a collective, push back, society will have to step up and listen.
Yeah.
But the problem is, we women, she doesn't even have children, and we are the greatest perpetrators of evil amongst ourselves. Not the men, but the women.
That's very true.
But the women. And that's why we're suffering. So we need to take
I hope
stock.
we're listening. The last time you came, we had to launch the book.
Mm-hmm.
And COVID came, so we
Yes.
couldn't. So what's new with the book?
Well, what's new with the book is this evening we're going to have a little launch, and it happens to be Eddie's birthday today as well. So I just thought it was a really,
God bless his soul.
a heavenly birthday, happy birthday to him. And I just thought it would be a good day to celebrate him. It's, 2.5 years on. Time has gone so quickly. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
So for those who have not read the book, because I've read the book, I think, about 5 times now.
Really?
Yes, because you don't get tired.
A few people have said that to me.
Yes, it's so upbeat. Sometimes when I'm down, it's by my bedside. So I just pick it and I start all over again. And by the time you're done, you're re-energized. You're fueled up. You know that, okay, this is life. This is reality. Because you did not quote anything. You said it as it was.
I did.
So you just pick some of the lessons and you keep them in your storehouse for maybes. How are you going to use this book to push women to go beyond their limits?
I think, as I mentioned before, it's about looking at the kind of marriage that you're in. I'm not saying that my marriage was perfect, because it wasn't. We had our challenges like every married couple. But there's certain things as a married woman I wouldn't tolerate, which I find a lot of married people tolerate over here. And I think it's because you've got a combination of culture and religion and societal pressures and finances and all those things that play into it. So I'm not naive, neither am I insensitive to the challenges as to why certain women are in the marriages that they're in. However, there are many of us that knew the kind of marriage that we were going to go into. And we went in anyway.
You see the red flags. But you leave the fully, he's going to change.
But that's so dumb, because you didn't change. Because it's silly to think like that, and as it is dangerous. Then go in and be his friend whilst God is changing him and leaving your options open. But when you just say, way, don't be surprised, because he did that when you were dating. Now it's progressed. Or, he was dating.
And now you're in the same space. So when the anger is out,
it's more focused.
You're there.
Yeah, nowhere for you to run. Now you've got 2 kids, you're at home, you're not working. You're vulnerable. Or you know that this man is a philanderer. He's all over the place. And then you're there fighting with his girlfriend. Debbie, accept them. Why are you fighting them? Because you saw it before you went into it. So what I'm hoping is that women will not put their whole identity in the missus. Because if I had done that, I wouldn't be sitting here now. I wouldn't be. I would have lost myself completely. Those women every minute, and that's for my husband, and that's my husband, and that's my husband, and they're flashing their ring as if they're ringing an Aminibi. But the fact is, you're still a person. What have you done for yourself as a woman? As a standalone entity, what legacy are you leaving? It's about you. What are you doing? It's not just about, and my husband, and my husband, and my children, What about you? As I said to my daughter, apart from being your mother, I am a whole woman in my own right. Get to know me. I'm a whole being, So I'm hoping that women will be able to celebrate themselves as women. This country has a real problem, or Africa has a real problem with feminism, because they don't understand it. They think feminism means we hate men. No, darling. No. Feminism means do not treat me as less as a human being because you have a penis and I have a vagina. It's really that simple, because that's what it boils down to, our body parts. Just respect me. Treat me with the same level of respect that you would your male counterpart. Pay me equally. Don't sexually harass me and try and grab my breasts and my buttocks because I work for you, because you wouldn't do that to my male counterpart. That's all we're saying. That's feminism. But once it comes into disrespecting men, and that's not feminism, that's just disrespecting men. But we have it all mixed up. So when women like me stand up and say, these are our boundaries that we're drawing, and this is how we want to be treated and how we want to operate in this world. It's like, hey, these feminists. No, these are women that know their worth and are not prepared to compromise and be downtrodden because it's comfortable for you to do so. That's all.
Oh, that's deep. So where can we get the book? I have the book, so those who don't have the book.
Tough. You can get it on my website, which is dyllissillah.com. And I am looking at some media outlets here, some bookstores that are going to be stocking it here, but it will be on my website, or people can inbox me on Facebook or Instagram.
So what's your ID on Facebook and Instagram?
I'm so boring, it's just Dyllis Sillah. It's nothing fancy.
No underscore, no dash, no fancy.
Just Dyllis Sillah.
Okay.
Nice and boring.
Wow. Dyllis, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Our usual culture, you don't leave here empty-handed. So kindly pick one of the cards. Let's see what. What did you get?
I got like this. You know, I'm really bush. It was like this this ring thing for cooking.
Oh, was it the steamer pot?
It wasn't steamer. Really? I think you plugged it in and you could cook on it.
Oh, the hob.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. So what did you get this time?
The same thing.
Yeah. Okay. No, this is a gas burner.
What's gas burner?
Okay. You're very British.
You can tell I haven't got a clue.
You love to cook?
I have to cook. I can cook. No, I did get one of those. But it was an electric one.
Yeah.
So this is a gas one. Well, that's very good. Thank you very much. You're coming very handy, actually. Thank you.
So this is yours from Hisense.
Thank you very much.
And that's not all.
Oh gosh, there's more.
Yeah.
Oh, this happened the last time.
It did.
I got all this stuff.
Yeah. So this is from Lexter Ghana to you.
Thank you so much.
Oh.
And it's a lovely hamper.
You know, I hate it when you stand because you're too tall. Don't let everybody see I'm short.
My mother says that. She said, you're always in high heels. Well, yeah, check out the heels.
Oh my goodness. Dyllis, thank you so much.
Lovely. Thank you.
I believe today's conversation would give women who have been widowed. Yeah. I like the word. They're not widows, they've been widowed.
They've been widowed. That's correct.
The strength to move on and know that you don't have to wait for anybody to give you that strength. You need to give yourself that strength.
Absolutely. I like to feel that I hope that they will look at me and see what is possible.
And you're glowing.
Well, you know.
Is there something I don't know?
Maybe.
Okay, because you're glowing.
Am I? Well, I'm not pregnant, if that's what you're thinking.
Oh, no. If you're pregnant, you wouldn't glow this much.
Oh, I look good when I'm pregnant.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't have that thing a lot of black women have where their nose looks like it's multiplied 3 times. No, I don't get that.
Right, I know you're not pregnant, but you're glowing. And I love the glow. Whatever you're doing for that glow, keep doing it. I love it. And I feel the joy from within.
Yeah, I am very happy.
The laughter is so real. You're not trying to be strong.
No,
you're strong.
I'm happy. I'm good. I'm
glad you are. Thank you so much for coming. And we are partying this time. Don't sneak out of Ghana.
No, well, you say I was here for 6 months with the lockdown last year.
But we couldn't hang out because there was lockdown. And it was
Don't worry, I'm coming to you. I hear you're an amazing cook.
Yeah,
I'm coming to your
don't
house.
Worry. I wanted to come, so you cook, then I invite you, then I cook.
No problem.
Okay, so
I'll
do you want?
Takeout.
Jollof? Okay.
No, fufu. Jollof mediere.
Okay. Fufu ni aponche nkrakra.
That's what we need to eat.
No, me de mama ne kakra wono.
That's
me chia
right.
kakra dro. Na me de brebo kakra.
Don't check the accent. Yeah, it's very deceptive.
Well, this has been another amazing episode on Restoration with Stacey. I want to say a very, very big thank you to all of our sponsors, Yas Washing Powder and Yas Sanitary Pad, Hooch Corn and Choco Flakes. To Hisense, a big thank you to you. Dyllis is taking home a gas burner today, and we say we really, really appreciate you. Adonko Original Hand Sanitizer. Yes, Corona is still out there. So we have this one. You can have it in your offices so that when you have guests, they can just sanitize their hands before they walk in there, because Corona is real. So let's all stay safe. And don't forget to continue to mask up, because people say, I've gotten the shot, but trust me, it's better to be safe than sorry. And a big thank you to La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, to GTP, and of course, to the newest saviors in town, that is Multi-Credit Savings and Loans. Corona bayi masu. Ma matete ma mudidwa na yesika to say Multi-Credit say we here ska munye group muye nipa 5 muye 7 muye 9 moba omone mo betena ase omone mo bedi nkomo na ma hwenhyehye ya eda ho na omama muska na mo de akwa ye adwuma umpewe na apede enya afi na akofre wadanfo bi na waka wonsem nyina kire na otie ni nyina wie ehu wonsem a ye ha okokwa mu nsem waka kire so nka wo ba nra nka menya bi ma Nyesa na Multi-Credit for eye. Nti baby a wo bia no hwehwe Multi-Credit for echi akwan na ko na omomwa. Omo number so e wo screen yi so. Nti so wo questions bia wo pese wo bisa omo nsemi bia obetimi afre na omo ne watwetwe nkomo na emom mun kai hu se dwumadie nhyehyɛ kakra wo ho nti sɛ wokɔ na ɔmo ne wodi nkomo na bibia ye okay a we need problem most me mama hu so say enya ade tintin bia nya afi ne beka se kofa we bra ana kofa we bra na kofa we bra bibia say ni ho nti mokɔ na modi nkomo na nhyehyɛ a ɔmaye no wo ho so a kyese nya problem kra wobetimi akɔkra bia day square de ato ho na enso wonsa ebeka sika no na wodi aye adwuma na emu mesrewo wogi sika na okɔ a wodi medina ekɔgi sika no wogi sika na wadi ho ni na wode kɔ sɛ ne be ya obi foforo so ebenya ho mfaso yenim sɛ nsuo tɔ nso fom ade nti ede mama amfa nya adwuma den mama mfa nkɔtɔ ntoma mama mfa nkɔdi manum mfa nya adwuma na ho mra mfaso ema ɔman Ghana nti ye kɔso no me de aseda ebema Ophelia ABS collection abna thank you very much for my skirt me skirt ye shemi Ophelia anepama me na me blouse so every cash boutique Nyaneba Estate Karen Nyankopon insure ohwe me tinyi fefefe ya style by Yemi and a style me tino and so chocolate hair and a the wig no e mame and a fe divine kasi and a tree menim the bia divine which is where tree menim mem say so that kra na me friend obetimi a tree menim ye dey say that sperma GH beauty artistry almost so eboy de bia na ba maduane so dia and is a Suza catering omo oko Instagram abi hu omo say ye wedding say ye say ye din to say wo fie kra na wakwadra aba na opese obi nu aduane ma wo freze Suza omo beba no ma be nu aduane ama fefefe na de me pese mo nyina mo hu ne say de wo de wakoma enne wadwin besi so say wo be ye bia no enam nyaminti ubetimi aye nti ye nkoso antonkoso na Nyankopon ebekuso ahwe yeso. So always do remember, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. We'll see you next week.
Welcome to the end of the tunnel. I see a bright light shining through, and it's just for you.